There we go. KJ, hello. Ibrahim Samura, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, Mr. Daramy, I've just sent you an invitation. So you need to accept the invitation so we can crack on with this wonderful program tonight. Bear in mind that the entire world is watching us. Mr. Ibrahim Suka, welcome to the program. Mo Bangus, John Conte, I salute you, sir. Let me see whether I can bring my guest on. My guest is just sending me an invite. Mr. Daramy, don't forget that your phone has to be in the horizontal position. That's the landscape position. Example, your phone has to be like this before you send me the invite, okay? Thank you, sir. The Pound, Mr. Conte, the wonderful Mr. Spain, welcome to the program, sir. Abu Bakarr Osayo Kamara, you told me you will be watching, and you are watching indeed. Welcome to the program. Amen. Sokoli, Afro National. Afro National. Sister Nancy Bankole Gibson, what's her name? Welcome to the program, sister. Can we please share this video? Viewer, Mr. Suleiman Fona, all the way from Australia. Welcome to the program, my brother. I'm really excited at seeing you here. And my sister Nancy Williams from Canada. Welcome to the program. Mr. James Soffers, welcome to the program. Amen. Afro National. Do you feel me, audience? No worries at all. Yeah. We still live with forget we guessed. Of course, we guests don't sign in already. They watch the program. But just for repeat, first of all, una please, let me share this video. Don't be selfish. because we're going to be talking about real issues here tonight at the big. Yeah. So my guest, not forget, you phone or your gadget get for day in the horizontal position, in this position, okay? Landscape. And then you send me an invite, or me go send you an invite. Wonderful program here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. They try to break our spirit, but our spirit cannot be broken. And this goes back to slavery days. They tried hard. As hard as they tried, we are still here today speaking. And we will continue to speak to the end of this earth, if it will ever end. Mr. Daramy, I already don't send you invite. And as you say, the invite don't get exhausted. So what I go advise for let you do, sir. Now for come out and then sign on again. Remember, I say not to live video, go, not go live. Oh. Come out and then go in back and then send me the invite, or the invite go refresh. Like when you refresh a page. Right. I want to welcome the minister, with all due respect, the Minister of Sports of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Zioga Wilson. Zioga, welcome to the program, sir. I'm very, very much excited at you tuning into the program. And this program has got depth, like I've been saying. It represents multiplicity. Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, and the wider world. So there's a lot of people watching tonight, sir. So I just want to salute you and say thanks for tuning in, sir. Thank you so much. That's the Minister of Sports of the Republic. Will pretty soon be coming on this program, God willing. But tonight we have a special guest, and we're trying to bring him on. Hopefully in the next couple of seconds or minutes, he should be joining the program. He's a very special guest, and here he is finally. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got him, and there he is. So whilst the guest is there and trying to prepare for the program tonight, you can already see him. So that should have built up the excitement. And Fambulem, I go say a warm welcome to we guest pretty soon. Okay? Well, we'll warm up the floor a little bit more because people and they can sign on. We don't want to be selfish. We want to let other people and get them, because this guest is special. Trust me. Welcome to the dinner now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince, and thank you very much to all we viewers and listeners, and definitely I guess we will get a very nice program where we all go learn from each other, and even the one who sent us some messages, we definitely will learn from them.
Right. So like I say, family, please let's share this this particular program. And because we've spent 10 minutes already just warming up the floor, let's shoot straight away. And we've got many first timers today, and this is quite interesting. And welcome to the dinner now, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we've got a very special guest. Some of you may know him, others may not. Of course, this is just a reality of life. But he's a proactive man in social media and government circles, especially the past. And even today, he's still very much present in social media and government circles and very much outspoken. He's a former PRO, Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. He is a former member, and I repeat this, listen to the emphasis. He is a former member of the Ernest Bai Koroma, Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma, All People's Congress government. He was also, and I believe he still is, the All People's Congress Publicity Secretary for the Western area. Now, for those of you who knows what the Western area represents in terms of politics and the advantage and disadvantages of politics, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is a special welcome for a very special son of the soil. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Abu Bakarr Daramy. Mr. Daramy, welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince, and thank you very much to viewers. And just as I say, I guess we will get a very healthy and educative program wherein myself go get for learn from the comments and messages. We people then they saying we not too big for land, and definitely I guess I'm going to try for share ideas all around.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And let's just go straight to issues. I want to begin with your rise to success, Mr. Daramy, because by many, your measurement of the word success, you seem for fitting inside that category there. You're young, you seem for don't achieve certain things. It might not be the height, but of course you get space, you get pedigree, you get time because age then on your side. You care for tell me the beginning of the story where it all started from as to where you are now. How did you get there? Because many people will like to hear that.
Well, my journey very long, Prince. I get a very long journey. We are in Abona Mountain Court, Havelock Street, where a lot of people they don't know. So I guess some Eastern mixture. But at a very young age,
That's
of about 6 months, I grew up in Wilberforce village. We are in everybody knows say being a part of Wilberforce. I grew up with all the Creole people and the Wilson, the Chuku Wilson, the Army Bong, the Scots, the Ayomali, the Sam Pratt, the AOD George, the Kiwili. So a lot of people at the time consider me say me not Creole, and let me say they consider me to a greater extent say me not Creole. But I go primary school. I go primary school at a private school, Moradin. But the greatest thing will happen to me, again at the secondary school we are going when at the best secondary school that the one whole country. I know a lot of people everybody will agree with me. When I entered what secondary school, I know a lot of people will laugh. But a lot of things that happen through my life. We learn me a lot of things we make. I know ever they take things for granted. And one thing I believe in my relationship with people. And my relationship with people, I know they ever shake them, I know they ever push them, I know they ever draw them back. Because that relationship, they definitely, they make me who I be, and they carry me on. Prince, me have been just one of them picking them. King Street, where they turn up na King Street after school, they wait for lift for go up, Wilberforce. Me have been one of them picking them, they work on school. Me have been one of the picking them, they wait in the morning, na bottom angle, they wait for lift for Kemi go down Congo Cross. I work at Congo Town for go St. Edward School. Me have been one of the picking away. Lunch they come out. We go for join with a company, we go eat cookery. I lived all those life, everything just rosy for me and all. To the point we are in at this salon for a while. The first day where I get a taste of government was the 96, 97, those days, and it was the military and all. After the intern I left go America, and I go school day and everything, Sierra University and all the rest of it. After that, I always get this passion for come back in a salon and can work for my country. Not that because we not going to ever work for with my country. They don't make their own place them. But we get for come back and give back to society and to community. So all the tell what they America, everything what they do, every little penny what I get. Now how they come back home, and then I return back home after studies, after one, two other things them and all. I get me picking them from America. I come back home now salon in 2011, but I always get me plan that I want can salon, even though I'll not be fully accomplished, but the basics should be there. One, I want can salon, I go inside my own house. I want go salon, I go rent, and I work very hard for make that thing and they happen. By the time I can salon, most of them things and they happen. And then another thing where a lot of people don't know about me, Prince, I'm a businessman. The one that we know me within America go tell you, I've always been a businessman, and even up till now, I am a businessman. Now, one thing they will take, why give utmost priority, how they run my business, very disciplined in terms of business and all other things. Same, I think, say, not only don't get me to Osade, they come into Sierra Leone and start to work for government. When I come, I give myself up for work for government. Right after a lot of requests, I start to work for government, not only because of money or anything, because government money, if you have no ever day inside, you're not going to understand. I start to work for some political affairs ministry. Now, the first ministry I enter, I start to work as the liaison to the Western Area coordinator. And at the time, my first salary in our political affairs was 840,000 leones. At that time, the 840,000 leones was just less than $200. Now, only I be earn for a month. Wherein, don't come salon back, I couch me picking them, three picking them, I come salon with everything. Not even enough for pay for pay me 2 drivers they want me get for the month. But because I believe that I want to make my own contribution and I get my own things and for do I get my own business on the side, definitely I want to come into government. I did at the ministry for a while. I rose up to the rank of the Western Area Coordinator, now the ministry. Then at a point, I move up to the ministry as the Deputy Director of the ministry. Even after all them while and then all those years, Prince, you go be surprised you will tell you, say, my salary still not be even past 2 million leones a month. We at the time 2 million leones or something like less than $300. But I mean, they do me work and they do everything what they do because I know say I get to contribute to government, I get to do everything I get to do to government. But meanwhile, I don't left me business while they do on the side. I get transport vehicle them, I get other business they what they do and this, that, import and export, buying and selling cars and all the rest of it. And I still do them and I still do them up till now. You know, I walk up to that point there, to the point where they asked that, okay, you don't do earlier. What about going to Ministry of Agriculture because you can talk and all and government not spend money for agriculture. Let me see how you can able for go help for market agriculture. Prince, you know, believe the first offer when they give me a turn the job done. I begin to remember say when I go ask about agriculture, the things they want to see about the ministry about agriculture in the country, I say, how long you get for take me for land or length here? So you know, I say if I say I can't go school back, but I sit down within myself, I take the challenge, say I'll go there. I go there the first step, I meet with the minister, I meet with the permanent section, the directors them. They all give me everything but the various divisions and departments them. I take them book and I study about all the projects in the Ministry of Agriculture, past and present. I begin to wake and let they study like we college. I study all them things and there, they take me time. They go to Rukupu, they go there with the scientists and take me time, they go in Jala, they go there with the scientists and the research stations. I take me time, they go Pendembu, they go to the colonial garden for make I understand each and every aspect of agriculture and everything we talk about every crop. Then I take my time to give.
Okay, Mr. Daramy. That was quite a monologue there, but for we listeners then, the reason why I give Mr. Daramy that space there, now for those of us, you know, yeah, we get ifs and buts. So the young man, we happen for be with guest today, will clarify a lot of things because the climax to this interview, I know I get Baku phone calls, I get Baku messages there. So I deliberately decide, let this man come and clarify them things there. And he said a lot. But it all reached a point where I really want budging. So eventually, Mr. Daramy, you end up with the Ministry of Agriculture where you were. And you not put all your eggs in one basket. Before you return of return, you were a businessman, if I want to capitalize on all what you say. But eventually, you became the head of public relations of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. That was quite an important position and very, very important too when they talk about food security for an entire country. And a lot of people go and understand back when you've been dating now, but this big, big title where you get to, apart from the money or the responsibility, what did you do?
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing I do when I get to the Ministry of Agriculture, people let me in at the communications wing at the Ministry of Agriculture. When I go there, I not go see myself as boss. The people that I meet say, I talk to them, I embrace them, I take them as colleagues. Mr. Conte, a couple of other people, them, and we all they work together. And even they take me time for they even go visit some of my colleagues them. Now them also make we all become family. And up to today, I'll tell you, say, the staff center Ministry of Agriculture, not just the one in the communications wing, we are family and all. I mean, I just that kind of person there that I can live and work with anybody and everybody because I believe in the relationship. What they make with person, not about the position, not about money, not about what you achieve, but your relationship with people are something that go a very, very long way. So definitely that was a very big title for land, but all them things in there. But I guess in my own conviction, I think say I do me own little bit because anything what I do, the first thing what I do, I create an evaluation method for myself. I always look at waiting I don't come meet our meet this institution, waiting I feel say I make it be within the next 1 year, waiting that I feel say I have to break that 1 year into quarters into every 3 months. Then every 3 months I evaluate me, say see I'm in there and waiting I don't do and see how they move forward. Then I ask people them likewise. So most of the time now I make I do my own self-evaluation. Maybe I might be wrong, but I can take criticism from people for make I able for grow, because I understand one thing, that I don't get all the ideas, and definitely I need people then for make I get up to the next level. And the people
So, Mr. Daramy, let's talk about the evaluation. I know say you just develop that, but let we talk about the evaluation, which sounds like very credible and very sensible. And for put on locally, it's like where you go sometimes, you try for understand the nature of the people the way they or the things the way they happen there before you join them. So before you do any of this, you get your own evaluation method. You look at the institution where you go join, how you be meet them, and from there you develop whatever formula for go forward. So when you join the agriculture ministry, Mr. Daramy, how did you find it then? And because that will determine how you left them in terms of your credentials.
When I joined the agriculture ministry, I will tell you that most of the people that I go meet in agriculture have been complete stranger. Why I mean stranger? Not all people that we don't know before. I think say something like 98% of them have been complete stranger. But I know say for make us succeed and make us able to live in that environment and able to get things together, I therefore bring myself down and create a family. So that's what I did. I created a family. I created a family in the Ministry of Agriculture with everybody from drivers to cleaners to secretaries to colleague workers to directors to everybody, you know. And I'm not just now the Ministry of Agriculture now freedom, but with all the district agricultural offices, them, all the districts, them, all the 12 districts at the time. I create a relationship with all of them, and from time to time, I make sure that I visit all them places. And agriculture become like a family for me. I mean, it become like a family place for me. And I'll tell you that the time where I did it, I enjoyed being there. I enjoyed the relationship with the people there. And I mean, everybody just take me like their brother, you know. And I'll tell you, to a greater extent, I enjoyed working in the agricultural sector.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Daramy, we go talk about the agriculture sector a lot, because in the development on the script for come to this interview with you, it was plenty about agriculture and very significant, although the political side will come very soon. So whilst you have been the head of public relations at the agriculture ministry, there was a particular company which was a Dutch company will be involved in palm oil investment in the country. Okay, and then we get a plantation at Yele. Now, then at Tonkolili district, I believe, say we talk about.
Ned oil.
What do we understand? Yes, sir. Yeah, palm oil. Yeah. What do we understand? Say this
oil,
particular.
the company is Ned Oil.
Ned Oil, yeah, NED, which was a Dutch consortium or Dutch oil company. You're right. Thanks for that. So we understand, say they use the farmers them as outgrowers. I will expect you to explain to the audience within an outgrowers, because these are technical terms and this is where people get lost. But on top of that as well, they also buy from farmers. But what you had to try for arrive at, was this an advantage to both the farmers and the country in terms of that process, which was undertaken by Ned, or was it a disadvantage, Mr. Daramy?
Well, what can happen in most investments in the country, because we're not in just one for make the company come in and dominate all the production. So we can sign an agreement, and part of the agreement we can get a radius. Sometimes we tell you that a 20-mile radius or 50-mile radius, you get for work with the farmers and use them as outgrowers. What that means is we they support the farmers or you the company, they support the farmers with seedlings. Let us just go establish their own banga farm them. When they don't establish their own banga farm, then they can now they can't sell them banga then to you, because you they get the means for do the production and all. So we do that with all other companies, not only Ned Oil na Yile. We do the same thing with Sokfin na Pujan, the same thing will happen with Goldtree na Daru, the same thing will happen with Adax where they do sugarcane na Bombali district, the same thing will happen with Mountain Lion Company where they do rice, Nabo and Lion Mountain where they do na Bombali. We do the same thing with various other companies, because a company no go just come, you establish, you although the land where they take, then they pay the land lease according to government arrangement and standards for that particular land only. But even when you use the people as workers, let them say able to establish, like where you they so prince. Let me say, for example, you come on a Matru. Now you get a banga plantation will be established again at the Gambia Matru oil palm plantation. when are 7,008 hectares within a Jong and Sogbeni chiefdom. That na Matru Jong and two chiefdom then they did. So then to that plantation day, we not only use them for make ego, let the company only they do the banga, but the people then where they around, we support them as outgrowers. So then SSF go they able to establish their own banga farm. They able can sell them banga, then weigh them, then get the money and all. Because one thing where we look at with banga, you know, is very important for make palm oil. The reason why make them can say with palm oil, sometimes you get confused. When they can tell you, say, oh, palm oil get cholesterol. The other time they tell you, say, palm oil don't get cholesterol. This palm oil acidic, you know, acidic.
Exactly.
You get confused. What's happening? But one thing, after you harvest the banga, in about 48 hours, they will don't put them through the processing. They will not put them through processing and all. If you not put them through processing, you left that banga they normal so. Waiting they happen, it get acidity. And waiting they happen with people them, then therefore go pick all the banga then at the farm, then gather them maybe after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before they go put them and go mass them and all. And definitely they want they already be contaminated. But with them companies also we get them machines and sophisticated methods them. We encourage we farmers information and they go sell to them, and we make sure that we get part of the process for protect the farmers and make sure that they get value for money. So that way you find out that it's very, very easy on the side of the farmers. And what you will do for the farmers? We reform them into cooperatives, so them there as a group. So when I go sit down and tell the company, say, well, now we bank out, they sell a 1,000 leon per kilo, all the farmers and the cow the same word. If they say they sell 2,000 per kilo, they all the cow the same word. So you find out that they are very strong in negotiating their prices and they're out and they negotiate their businesses. So with net oil, because you pinpoint net oil then I yield.
Yeah, absolutely.
When a very company we do a lot of things here, because in only then I yield, part of the corporate social responsibility, they establish a dam hydro where then they give light to the people in a yield. Then they rehabilitate the road from Maboruka go to Yile, and then they rehabilitate from that part they go to Mongere where that road they lead to Bo. Me and one person, now be one person we always they use that road there for go Bo if I come on at the north. When I be roadway very, very good. And net oil again on the other side, then create a factory the way they begin make soap. Then begin make soap and do a lot of other things, and then begin for exports and oil where then they all mean they lead to a balance of trade now we country. So we look at all them things and most of them companies here, so they bring a lot of good things and come to with people into the country.
So Mr. Daramy, thank you very much for that. It seems like you did on top of the issues, and you already, you seem for one step ahead of my questions, because some of the questions I want to ask you already dealing with them, which is like the corporate social responsibility, the CSR of this particular company who they talk about within up there, and then they do quite well. But we know say also that they may get funding from the African Development Bank. Is that the situation today and the state of the company? Is it the same as you speak of it?
Well, and when you look at some of them companies, you look at them companies and the funding where they get and all, they want so private sector companies. Now private sector companies are completely different from where government they get funding or support companies into some of them things and like the one where they tell you now the company where they say na Matru, that na Bont district, the Gambia Matru palm plantation, it get funding, direct funding from the African Development Bank. When the African Development Bank support the plantation, because the total farm land was, when we do at first, the total farm is 7,800 and 7,008 hectares. At first we do 3,500. Then later on, African Development Bank can support for when we do the balance, but we get for use the farm, we get for do the nursery for let we establish the balance. But meanwhile, in that thing, we do the oil mill, we do staff quarters, we do community centers, we do health centers, both na Jong Chiefdom, then na Matru Jong and Sogbeni Chiefdom. Sogbeni na usai the current president, Brigadier Julius Malabio. And I will tell you, say, I got a very, very good relationship with the chiefs, them we come on and then two chiefdom, because I take the like that. Whenever I go there, then a Chief Ebi Sheriff and Chief Bayo, I mean, and even the parliamentarian women, they when a Honorable Brahma Conte, mind you, Now that ain't like me uncool because from a small go school, he work bank of Salo with me.
Okay, Daramy, I'm gonna stop you right there if you don't really mind, because when they come to the political side, I want to talk about the economic, benefits and then projects that they undertake.
I mean, we talk about the economy. The only thing I just come up with, in line with all this, I just allow people to understand. Everywhere I go, I try to establish and create a relationship with people.
Which we will come back to shortly, and I promise you, at every aspect of this interview, we are going to be talking, because that's how you seem for open up this program. And there was a particular question to you as to the success. What within life behind your success? Which part of the answer was you always try to be a team player, establish yourself as open, encouraging, and a team player. So we will always highlight that, sir. But back again to this net project, we understand, say, the ministry at the time when you were very active of being the PRO of the ministry, there was something we then call the Integrated Solution for Africa. I'm sure, say, you go remember that, because you seem to be very, very much on top of these things because you were there. And then we supposed for they do between 500,000 to close to 1 million of chickens at any given time, and also 500,000 of eggs every day. Is this the case, or was this the case then? If it was the case then, Mr. Daramy, how will you describe this case now? Because this is quite critical to food security of an entire nation of 7.5 or more people.
Thank you very much. I just want to let you understand, this Integrated Africa Solution, is a completely different program from the net oil. This particular investment come in the same way we get Professor Monty Jones as the Minister of Agriculture. It emanates from a trip where they get with and go Israel, from a businessman, an Israeli, we on this salon for a very, very long time. Where I go remember the name, but at the point we started the mining company AMR Gold na Kamakwe. This Israeli, I remember the name. It's been here for a while. The thing about the Integrated African Solution Project, right? At first, they approached the government and the Ministry of Agriculture that it is a private sector investment company, where we all happy for, because they will set up about 6 chicken houses. We forget about 500 to 750,000 chickens at any given time. And part of the program, therefore they do about a day, therefore they do about 500,000 eggs a day, where we for sell in a salon, and we were for sell to the neighboring countries them. And then they will forget a farm where, because one problem we get with chicken investment at this country, poultry and the feed, the corn. We know they grow corn too much in a salon, so they never go buy corn place like Mali or you get for import them. If we establish in corn in maize field, wherein we go to a place called Malalmara, that's now the corn belt in this country where they right over Tonkolili district, that's now the Mile 91 area. We go establish that and all. But the thing about this investment, I mean, I know a little bit about them. The thing about this investment, what women they push for as a government and as a ministry, we agree with the investment and we're ready for support the investment for make it go on. But at the end of the day, what they get for turnout into was the company wants a sovereign guarantee. And when they talk about sovereign guarantee, it is completely different. First of all, the international organization, funding organizations, they frown at sovereign guarantee. For let the government they give sovereign guarantee. What sovereign guarantee means is that the company they come, we as Salon government, we go trust the money to one bank. We can't give them. Then do the work, then do all the work and this, that, and the profit we share. We're very, very good. But look at it this other way. If we go trust the money, if the investment go bad, then they manage the investment. At the end of the day, now me and you two in Australia and get for go pay them debts in the back. So if you say, waiting I mean we argument that if you say this investment is so good, you believe in this investment and you know say this investment is so it will make money within 10 years. Right? Within 10 years, you go don't pay for yourself back. It is easy for make you able to take that money and invest them into that. Then when you don't make that profit, you pay that money back, then you carry on with the company. Now I mean just we own parts down there, and for the sovereign guarantee, it was hard. Now I mean the only thing that they women hold them back because We do a lot of studies. We do all the feasibility study. We do the environmental impact assessment. We do all the surveys them for make that program they go on. Because I mean, from that, we may support local poultry them in country. Because we look at and say we dey import chicken still in the country. We support local poultry like the Sierra Leone. We support the Paja poultry. We support the Big Things poultry. Within a Makeni, we support the Abaja poultry within a Kenema. We support the one day within a Bo. We support poultry all over the country. But we mean just one get one like that one day. We go come in and work with all the other one day, and definitely all the other one day. Waiting, I mean, the plan was for make that big poultry, they use them as outgrowers. So the chicken there when they grow and all, they're going to sell them to that particular integrated African solution company. So now that's exactly happened.
All right. On that same basis, I be just one because that's quite clear the way you articulate that. Let's be honest about that. But also under that program, because it's I've just to deal with the issue of food security. You get something like that same area where they grow onions. We're critical to with food security as well. But now bring most of them come inside the country. And it cost the country like something about $15 million, and that was then on import. That was under your watch. It cost the country about $15 million just for import onions. And in terms of winning the argument or issues around food security, then obviously you begin for cut that down and focus. One of the issues then where I want to begin with for ask you, because you be encourage people then for focus on the local produce. And the local produce go mean say you develop onions as well, where they cost me 15 million for income. How, Mr. Daramy, will you address this issue of importing onions rather, where they cost me 15 million, and I mean just flight of capital? Anytime where you get small money, you get for convert them into foreign currency for go import and income.
Well, yes, we spend about $12 to $50 million for import on foreign exchange for import onions every year. That's alone. We're in a very huge amount. We look at all things and we try to eradicate them. The things that we do, one problem where we get first now in the country is this problem of seeds. For now, get proper certified and high yielding onion seeds. So because of that, let us start off first with this. Under the agricultural sector, you get a program what they call the National Sustainable Development Agricultural Program. When a 20-year roadmap for agriculture, when the former president, Ahmad Tijan Kabar, now him put that together and go sign with other African countries the way they may launch that particular program for the agricultural sector. So after 20 years, we were not able to take care of a lot of things. So President Ahmad Tijan Kabar launched the National Sustainable Development Agricultural Program in 2004. In 2004, they launched, and 2005, 2006 is supposed to start up. They're supposed to segmentize on every 5 years. So the first 5 years, then bring come the smallholder commercialization program. Now, under the smallholder commercialization program, the things that we need in our country, now through that one day, all them projects that they come in, and then private sector investments. I want to know you understand. So that comes to the onion, because of the seeds problem where we may not find out over the years, now the agricultural sector, we get a company, a project we come in when are linking farmers to markets. We're supposed to operate in 6 districts: Western area, Western urban, Bombali, Bo, and Bond. I think I named 6, right? And Kolili, sorry. I still get them all up paid. So them in the car with certified seeds and onion seeds, but we look at areas the Musai onion go grown at the country from soil survey and soil test. The first area, now the Potloko axis, but the Potloko axis is South here, now the Lunge part. One section they call Modia, we get about 7 mile long swamp. We begin for rehabilitate the swamp and support the farmers. We look at another area when the Kamalo area, where they begin plant onion, they will support the farmers. We look at another area, we get a very good swamp for onion when at the Kenema axis. That's now going towards Hanga, now Kenema on the right hand, that swamp. That entire swamp, they will support farmers and then they grow onion, then they do very well with onion production at that particular side. Then come down to a place like Bo, right? We get one place in a Bo where they do onion again when at that Mongere axis going towards Valunia, then side in the Valunia chiefdom. So now that way then we begin targeting onion production, then we do Koinadugu a little bit. But why we not push them on Koinadugu? Koinadugu because we don't charge them for begin to Irish potato and other things them. We not want for overburden them. So we start with that onion thing there all over the country. And I think say about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, the first onion production we get in country. I think I mean try my level best for sure to the entire world, show pictures and everything. And when I start for Bagam, we start for they do that. But that one they not been true enough for solve the onion problem where we get in country because we eat a lot of onion as I say. So we get for they push down there for continue and we push this project LFM for make them continue for the car with their onion seeds and all. So now that way they will start. But currently I don't know what's happening to that particular program day and all.
All right.
I don't want to comment on that.
All right, that would be a fair response. That would be a fair response because you've been away from there for a while. I just to wrap up the issue on this because we get a couple of other things for talk about, here quickly. But you mentioned your boss at the time, who was the minister, then Professor Monty Jones, I believe. Okay, it says something then that he believed, because the emphasis anyway, for ensure food security, rely on nutrition and also require the effective collaboration among all the other ministries. In other words, government ministries and ministers and parastatals and MDAs, whichever way you want to call them, they need to be talking to each and other. There needs to be a collaboration. Now, under your watch, that's when this proposal was made, and it sounds like a plausible thing, here for advance at the time. My question to you, Mr. Daramy, was this taken into account? And if it were taken into account, was it effected? In other words, the minister make the proposition that we need for collaborate in order for us to attain food security. And for attain them means that the collaboration needs to take place, not just the talk. So did this happen, sir, whilst it was under your watch as the PRO?
Well, I work under two ministers. My first minister I work under Dr. Joseph Samsise, and the next person I work under Professor Monty Jones. I will tell you that there was a lot of meeting and collaborative meeting with various other ministries, departments, and agents for make me see how things are like Ministry of Trade. We will work with Ministry of Trade closely. We will work with the Ministry of Finance. We will work with the Ministry of Local Government. We collaborated with the Ministry of Youth because the youth farm women day. I'll tell you, say we supply them the first set of tools and equipment, and we supervise that farm day and various other youth farms women there around the country. We supported them. We work with the Ministry of Health because we veterinary section deal with animals and every other thing, animal husbandry, animal production. Then we work close with the Ministry of Health. We work with various other ministries. We operate with NACSA because when we work with NACSA for see how they come in for get cash for work. We farmers them and all. We work with the Ministry of Works because the farmers them then at their village and for cow them produce them and all. So we get for rehabilitate the feeder road, but it's going to interest you that in most of the projects they go spend the money. Part of them, we the shape and say this will go and feed a road rehabilitation under the Ministry of Agriculture. Some people not be understand. We normally they rehabilitate feed the roads. We they bring the Ministry of Works coming and SLR, we hand over everything to them because now they get the master sabi and know-how and everything how for do the thing. So then they just show you some amount of collaboration and all. But I'll tell you honestly, Prince.
Yes, sir.
The turnaround for the agricultural sector, for make people turn agriculture in the country, talking about food security and all, the beautiful ideas in there. Even up till now, I could tell you, say, the beautiful ideas in there because there are people in the Ministry of Agriculture, the professionals are still there way, some of we learn from them and we take the ideas, but I'll tell you one thing, you need some serious capital injection into the agricultural sector if you want to turn them around. And you get to make sure the capital injection that happen in the right cause. When you talk about capital injection, you get to happen in the right cause. You get to, one thing where don't they derail we. Now this aspect about where people can say country will be feeding safe, not to country way better and all of that thing. Yes, country will be feeding safe. That is true. But I will tell you that I'm not always to the plant. I mean, always to for it. We for going for the plant. because on certain districts they get certain comparative and advantage on certain crops. And I will bring this information can to you, so maybe a lot of people will not go agree with me. Fine. But
and we've got a wider audience as well, Mr. Daramy.
Yes.
If you look at the page, you go see probably less people, but trust me, by the end of this program, there will have been thousands of viewers all over the world. So yeah, this is serious, and not only Sierra Leoneans, but also, you know, yeah, we get some very critical and important people here from Liberia who are watching this program as well. I see few ministers, they watch this program. I can tell you that.
I want to bring this. Maybe some people will disagree, but it's just the reality and it's just a statement of facts. We dey eat plenty rest in a salon. We want for let we stop for import rest in a salon, but my brothers and sisters, I go give you this information.
Can I pause you there, Mr. Daramy? Mr. Daramy, with all due respect, sir, because I come to that. Now, the last part I want to deal with this agriculture thing and the rest of it, and I will give you a chance for let you flow, because I've heard you spoken on this issue before, and I know that issue where you vast with. I will give you a chance for let you speak with them, but I just want to bring this up, and then from there, once you deal with this, you can flow into the rice, and I get one or two questions for you. On top of this collaboration, I'll ask you about what you've dealt with, but I also want to say that the collaboration with that was spoken of, it talk about supporting towards, you know, the agriculture project which you've spoken of, badly needed inputs. You've talked about some of them at the pickup, but we need fertilizer, and fertilizer at some point became a major issue in Sierra Leone, in which you name the always the come up when it comes to in terms of the fertilizer which was needed. It doesn't only stop there, but in terms of the collaboration and support, Mr. Daramy, we also talk about machinery. Of course, and this now you talk about, we involve like power tillers, then huge, big tractors, probably from China or even in the West. And on top of that, you get for mix them with harvesters as well, the people that we actually do the physical work. I want you really address this in terms of the collaboration. Under your watch, sir, along with the past government, were these things achieved? Because now being proposal them, some of them were executed, some of them you found funding. But if I pick up from your last point, you need huge funding, because now big thing when they talk about feeding 7 point some more million mouths. But you will understand it because you were there. So I give you the floor again once more, Mr. Daramy, based on the collaboration of support.
Collaboration from under the National Sustainable Development Agricultural Program. Actually, say the first 5 years was the smallholder commercialization program. We bring about a lot of things we need, but because of that, government not to get all the funds for putting to the programs we want and all. So we get various projects We are in a World Bank will come in say they support the agricultural sector with $50 million for ABC. Let me develop a program. EU will cancel, they support this and that. Under them one day, various projects in come. Like for example, one when I'm in the agricultural sector reform rehabilitation unit, project, where that one day most of the agricultural buildings and other things all around the country be not born, be not broke, be not be dilapidated. That project income purposely for target and rehabilitation one day. We get another project when I'm in the IFAD project. Under the IFAD project, you get various projects that will come under that. You get the rural poverty reduction project will come in for support the farmers with small inputs and all that things and for me then go kickstart like seed rice, fertilizer and all. You get a rural financing project where through that now we set up the community banks and financial service associations where they in operations now we make place like Pendembu, get village bank, you go place like Madina, Tonkoli Baget Bank, you go place like the far villages all around the country, even a bond. Then you get other projects where they under the ministry like the DFPP, the Diversified Food Production Project, which is supported by African Development Bank. You get various other projects where they in just a small amount in the come with. You know, then when we get to the Indian investment we've been coming, we've been huge. We're in for target machines. Where I guess you touch that side. We've been come with 293 tractors. where 260 of them tractors in this, sorry, 260 of them tractors, then give to farmers them through a purchase scheme, a credit purchase scheme. Not to the ministry give, because the ministry not able to deal with credit. We use FI Bank when they sabi deal with loans and all that things. Now they handle that particular program. Then under that one, they then build 3 giant rice mill. Now the areas that we consider say this na rice belts in the country and all. One of the rice mill mean then na Bombali. Another rice mill mean then na Tomabom, that's na Bont district and build all the equipment and gadgets. Then another rice mill mean then na Bo. So 2 of the rice mill then fall na the south because I'll tell you that why they put in at the south, the piece of land within at the south, most of them is less acidic than the one they within at the north. So because of that, now that make most of the rice, 2 of them in then at the south. Now 1 million at the north, now Bombaliwe for south. Then you get small mini rice mill there where they put all over the place, including Waterloo and other places them where they serve the farmers. But even notwithstanding that, we try for do agricultural business centers. Where the agricultural business center, then because the farmer then can don't do them product, they get for left them products and at the host, they not get store, arata go eat them, all of that things, and they not get dry and flour for dry, the rice, and they not get milling machine, then small things, the cassava grater, cassava presser. So we build 393 agricultural business centers, where they all over the country. Every chiefdom in this country, Prince Lay, we viewers and look, every chiefdom in this country get at least 3 of the agricultural business centers a day. And the agricultural business centers, they will decide for form them into cooperatives so that the farmers then all go own them and they work there and they use them for their own purpose. Not so we run the agricultural business centers a day. Because of the collaboration with the local government ministry, we bring the local government ministry in, we hand them over to the paramount chiefs and the people of their community, then they follow the local government authorities then supervise and all we they give the expertise, advice for make sure say they run and the farmers them we support them with production. Because now waiting them produce, they get for come process now them particular agricultural business centers in there. So now then things and they we do, with the tractors that we come. We give the farmers them, the tractors them through a lower purchase scheme. The one that we left, I know a lot of people will ask me to happy. We support institutions, including Rokupul, Rice Research Station. We support Njala University. With some of them tractors and they because they get the laboratories and they end. The students the SSF, they do their own agriculture and their own research and all. They will get the agricultural training college. Women then are Mokonde na Jala when the Ministry of Agriculture mean they operate but through collaborative effort with the Ministry of Education, women get for hand them over. So Ministry of Education, that Najala University, let it operate and with own support. Then some of them machines and they maintain at the agricultural offices and the district agricultural offices for support other farmers and when we get opportunity for get on the higher purchase scheme. But I will bring this to you, Prince. Tractor not in our problem na agriculture. It is secondary. When they talk about land preparation, the first thing they have to think about first, this is not from studies that we don't carry waiting at all land. You need them machine the way they call them Caterpillar, then D8 and D6. Because the first thing you have to do land leveling. You know they go put tractor on a land, outside the thick and just don't burn them and all. When that tractor they work on that land, in blade then they broke. And because in blade then they broke, and tractor not just a canton, now 2 hectare, 5 hectare land. You get for allow a work now then 20, 50, 60 hectare land. Almost of with farmers and farmland reach 50, 60 hectares. That is the problem. Now that make women come with the idea for set them up into cooperatives. And then cooperatives and one put them together, let them work together, we do their land preparation in it. And if you get to bring them machines and way they do land preparation and land leveling, after they don't take the topsoil, for make you get that topsoil for replacing setback, through natural causes, they take you about 10 years, 8 to 10 years. Through soil enhancement, all the things, and they bring the limestone, the oyster shells, all them fertilizer, then this, that, and all. It takes you about 3 to 4 years. So we get to understand all them things. So you make out tractor today, you expect say the answer they will come out tomorrow.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Daramy, for such a massive development. And I want to touch on one particular issue on that side there. But just before I do, let I acknowledge few conversation at the chat room. And I go start from Mr. Bokari Sao. First of all, Nadia Fofana Alaji Amara Kebe, welcome to the program. Emzo Fofana, welcome to the program, my brother. Bokari Sao says, if proper investment is made in Lunge, we won't need to be importing onions. Jabil, welcome to the program. And Bokari Sao went on to say, groundnut farming is another avenue for the government. Bill Paupa, welcome to the program. Mr. Joshua Bernard, all the way from the United States, welcome to the program. Richard Gawuja, welcome to the program. Brother Sisi, welcome to the program. And then Mr. Jimmy Otello, what is your quarterly budget? And were you able to produce surplus to export and generate revenue for the country? Quite an interesting question, and I believe Sabine addressed that to you, Mr. Guest. Mr. Bokari Sao went on to say, with the rice issue, let the government force the single rice importer to grow 30% of rice in Sierra Leone within the next 3 years. Celia Koso, welcome to the program. Supermed Mohamed Kamara, welcome to the program, my brother. Quite a good welcome. Mamad Alpha Jallo, Ibrahim K. Jallo, Patricia M. Brown, welcome all to the program. Jimmy Okello again. How can corporate social responsibility and agro process benefit developing countries? And is it an issue that we need to take seriously, considering the people worry about imports, about impact on farming, on everything, something like that, and carry on. So I will give you a chance for let you respond to that, but it will come with a question because I want to deal with that just finally, and then we move to another aspect of this conversation. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, yes, sir. If you want to address that, or you want to just move on?
No, I'll address them. I'll address them. Thank you very much.
Sure. Please.
Thank you very much. Doing that. Thank you very much, my brothers and sisters, and everybody follow on this program. Thank you now, because we all get concerned for the country, and we all like the country. That I make the up tonight for make we share ideas on this. The man we talk about proper investment not being done in agriculture. I will tell you that now the agricultural sector, government not to do business. Government creates the enabling environment for make people able to do business. Government not go set up onion farm and produce onion and sell and all other things. Government, they support the farmers for make the farmers then grow and sell and make money for themselves and cut down on the import on them products. And they, even though the investment have been small and all, but we need to look for an investment company we can come in and establish then large onion fields, and they for make we go able make them able for do the large onion things, and they so that they go eradicate the importation by 100%. But up till that same day, we not ever get any company we go come in for can do for make that part of a problem go be solved. Somebody talk say another person send another message. They talk about say we Paupa will eradicate that. One thing I want to let we take away from this particular conversation, political gimmicks away from this, because most of the things that they talk now. So just as a start, I want to let we say things that we share idea and help for push the agricultural sector and every other sector. When we come to topic and issues that we need for address on political lines, I guess we can come in for the we address them on political lines. Because one person with the current Minister of Agriculture, when I left, I go meet him and I always go visit him. They tell him, say, if you need any advice or anything, I'm here. And because we all are Sierra Leonean. But one thing we understand in terms of investment, in terms of rice investment, somebody say the exporters them for the do about 30% of the rice within the import. We don't come up with policies them like that and all, but I go tell you, say, the 1 grain rice importer women start with that. Now, Jamal, a Lebanese guy, we put investment for buy the gold mill, rice mill, where they along the Lunsar Makeni Highway. We get a farmland of about 700 hectares, and for use the farmers them out there as outgrowers. Where we go, they get all the sophisticated machines, whether not tractors, whether not rice harvester, whether not rice mill, whether not dryer, whether not combined harvester. They get everything in that particular farm day. They get one of the biggest silos in. But one thing I want for make we understand is rice is not all about agriculture in a salon. We get to understand.
So just before you develop that, because I want to talk about rice in only one question, and then you can develop take them up. We can come middle and throw them down. First of all, there's a general agreement that rice now we staple food, and growing up as a boy, we understand through SLPP the quotas and waiting them they produce and the different kind of rest them and the rest of it. But Mr. Daramy, you are on record for having said or encouraged local people for pay attention to locally grown food, which may involve rice. But there is also now some controversy around what you be saying, what you say now, which is we cannot grow rice in Sierra Leone due to soil acidity. And government of this day, they say, well, we are spending hundreds of millions of dollars just to import rice, so we have to focus on growing rice locally. Now, you undisputably are an expert in this particular area. Will you use this platform for articulate something around all this controversy? What will you be saying then? What they go on now and waiting at the reality, please?
Okay, thank you very much. This is an issue where I just want to let people listen and carefully. I always encourage you Sierra Leonean people or people for produce and eat with domestic products, being rice, being pepper, being cassava and all, right? But coming to rice, we people in the plant rice, now this country. But I will tell you now, I will bring this coming. From studies they were don't do and surveys they were don't do, not only in a salon to IITA and Nigeria, various other places and various other laboratories and all. When we plant rice in a salon, we apply fertilizer, we put herbicides, pesticides, and all the rest of it. The maximum yield we get when I check on record from the agricultural sector is about 3 tons per hectare. In Asia, countries like the Vietnam and the other countries, and they when they plant rice, then they get in 17, 18, 19, 20, up to 22 tons per hectare. Whether one they make rice commercially viable for them. So that means, for example, for the layman we don't understand, when we plant rice now 1 hectare, the same amount of seed of rice they put, with the effort and all, the farmer they commodate with something like 40 bag rice at the end of the day, we harvest and every other thing and all. But that same piece of land, the way they plant in Asia, Vietnam and the other places, 20 ton rice, 20 ton 9 and they get per hectare. That same piece of land, the farmer they commodate with something like 400 to 460 bag. When because of that, make they able to sell the rice cheaper and market and to we. The reason being that governments in and out from Miltimaguide and this, they don't type a rice production. But we give ask ourselves one question. Why they may come up with the SLPP at the time? SLPP, they may come with them at the time for make SLPP day in for import rice, and then they for exports we produce the way we grow in this country. SLPP na them the export banga. So all small people them they call and say salon well money from banga. Now them the export with cocoa and with coffee out of the country. When the exports and the foreign exchange rate they get, and they use in ton and buy the rest and come in, and that make we know today. Now they ajamami they will get certain rice dealers there when they know when they sell rice. Now they will go to line for rest, and through SLPP they will get them supply. Even though other farmers they plant rice, but it was controlled because government not been the worry about revenue, I mean foreign exchange for import rice, because once we export the cocoa, coffee and the banga out of the country, when they get that foreign exchange, the SLPP, now the same foreign exchange, then they come to government for foreign exchange. Now they use for cow the rest inside the country. Then the extra foreign exchange and bring and come in. Now make like SLPP will be a very, 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 very lucrative company. Inside Salon, we soil acidic. Most part of the north to get about 15% to 15.7% acidity. We tell you say rice need to grow properly inside the soil very, very acidic. Now the south, parts in there where the soil get about 9%, 10%, 11% acidity. So the one that we come on a bond, we come on a tomabome. Tomabome na the side where we get less percent acidity than the one whole country. The acidity in a tomabome is about 1%. But a river, what are they that occur? What are they on the side? Where they run, stream then on the side where they run. That stream there, the water where they run, they get for treated, it is contaminated. The total land on a tomabome is 54,000 hectares. We don't start, I mean, planting don't start today, we don't start today before. The West African Rice Company done then a tomabome for the past 6 years. When I think a Dutch company, a mixture of Dutch, European company, really. They run there and they plant and they grow up and all. You get the Abaja rice plantation when a Sierra Leonean get them. When Sese they plant, say when a Mohamed Tijan Keller, when a one of the agriculturists in the country. In Sese when they plant, say we don't do, I think up to about 10,000 hectares or so. Now that same piece of land there. But we get a lot more for do, but I'll tell me Fambulen. One bag rice presently in our country. It is about in between 300 to 320,000 leons. One bag cocoa in our country now about 4 million leons. So if me plant one bag, if I get one bag cocoa, what sell them? I buy 12 bag rice. So una way they listen to me, una do the comparative analysis. Where you get one bag rice, it's 320,000 leons. Where you get one bag cocoa, you sell them 4 million or more. You're able to go buy about 12 bag rice. So one thing when they push, the effort we don't put for rice plantation, let we move into cash crop. Cash crop now the way for let we go before and the agriculture and salon. And we soil very, very conducive for planting the like cocoa, coffee, cashew, and palm oil. We can choose 4 crops. Go back around Africa. If country like Ivory Coast, they grow up so. Country like Ghana, they grow up so. Ivory Coast waiting them back on a cocoa production. Then they take them cocoa, then sell and get all the money they want and buy plantain from Cameroon and Ghana and bring and come in country. Same way so Ghana they do them. In country like Ethiopia, they grow. Ethiopia, they eat a lot of corn, a lot of other things. But Ethiopia gets one of the largest field in coffee production with Starbucks. Una way over soon, I know Starbucks coffee. One of the largest supplier of coffee in the world, now Ethiopia. Then they get a lot of foreign exchange from that. Then buy the products the way they want from other country and all other things. Inside Salon SLPP they thrive because they export the banga, the coffee, the cocoa and all. Make I just come with this small short story, Prince. People and they say most of we brothers and sisters they will come out now the east. They're like educated and all. Me go tell you the secret because I do all lengths of it. We people the way they come on at the east. The Kenema, Kailaun, Kono, even some part Nabo and other places. They young people they embark on cocoa and coffee production to a larger extent. Then cocoa and coffee then they went and sell to SLPMC, PMB. Even now, recently when they sell to them, exporters them. Then they get the money where they will take for pay for them picking them for go school and pay for them picking them for go college. Go other partner, the north and other side, most of the people they engage in rice production. And when they don't plant rice at the end of the day, most of the story they are, they can't reach me farm, better not come out this year. Better not go come out because the soil acidic. Then the water the way they come now, they farm them there from we don't go upline and we can they upline. When you see most of the water then steady and then swamp during the dries, you see the water make like that brown color, Prince. That one then an iron toxicity.
Then they tell you, say, the water polluted, the contaminated. The mineral they'll get up there inland and they sip down. And when they come in, they become poisons to them planting it. Then with soil, weed, they grow very, very fast. And weed is one thing where they suppress rice production. So you look at the things where they fight against the rice production, they're very many and they're very plenty. And not say, Prince Latodis, I know say, brother, the way come on, Potloko go, they say, we got big swamp na Potloko, where the Rombe swamp. Rombe swamp is 8,500 hectares. I will tell you about 5,500 hectares of that swamp get salinity. What in that mean? It gets salt. Where you go look at the mangrove plants and they grow that side. Salt they can do. Now one time a year you go plant it and they will plant it for most part. The other part up, because of the mineral, the soil is contaminated and all. And when you look at them, it is not a swamp where you're able to rehabilitate and keep on because of the size and all. Then when they will come up Bombali, go they say roller cody, then get that vast bowling land where they go Makeni. That vast bowling land, when you dig them, less than 1 feet go down, na sand under. And when a sand under, when you plant it, you know they do well. And when you apply fertilizer or water, it is suck go under very, very fast. That particular side they go only good for like corn production. I don't know. Well, the one the way come out na Cambia, go to tell you say they get the swamp on another side. The swamp on another side because of the water level high going towards to Mapotolong. You get forget a certain variety of the plant when they call the Indochina when a floating variety. But for like do you get for north in certain state for like for can plant them. And trust me, planting rice is so scientific. If I start to talk about rice plantation and rice production, you know, we average farmer, that I mean a village and all, not go able to follow all the models operandi using pesticides, herbicides, and the fertilizer and all other things and all. And planting a swamp, where you put the fertilizer, you have to do the water control, the canals and the headbones, sidebones, you have to do the sluice gates and all. If not to that, the water, they wash all the fertilizer away. So we challenge with all that, but cash crop is the way to go for Sierra Leone agriculture.
Very, very well said, sir. Before I ask you the last question on this particular issue about rice, somebody just make a contribution again as well. We're happy for being Mr. Othello, which is based on which you see, looking at the question, which is, so do we have to look at our agricultural process in line with the world environmental and climate change concerns? This is quite a critical question, Mr. Daramy. I go read them again. So do we have to look at our agricultural, you see, I'm okay. What would you say to that before I ask you the last question on this particular issue?
Once you have to talk to Mr. Opello, in question, they're in place. If we fail to do that, we head to the wrong things. Let's just give a physical example. We have in a salon when an ADAX company, ADAX Bioenergy, because the environmental impact assessment was not proper, and the soil test where they do, they make some small mistake on the soil test. Then they make the kind of sugarcane where they can plant. The sugarcane, the yield be very, very low. It was about 60-something% yield. Where for that company they able for make profit and continue, they therefore make above 80% on the yield. Because the sugarcane was wrong, because of environmental studies was wrong, definitely that company they may therefore go into bankruptcy. Because what we do as a government for save the company and help them, made enough fold up. We talked to another sugarcane company within a Tonkolili when a Magbas. We allow them to go buy Magbas and sugarcane, then they bring and come in because one ADAX when they produce ethanol and they export to they bring income come to the country and helping with balance of trade deficit. On the other hand, ADAX mean they give energy, they give light about 30 megahertz to the national grid. So we get for supporting. So climate change and environmental issues, we get a look at them. Because when you talk about them big farming.
Go on.
When they talk about them big farming, they're large scale farms, we get for use fertilizers. And fertilizer we get for make sure say they're environmentally friendly. If we not apply them right and we not monitor them, then they wash down to the streams where rain come. And then when they wash down to the streams, villages them down the streams, down river. Now then water then they use for drink, wash and cook. And we cannot allow, we go produce food upstream, we kill the people in downstream. So we get to look at all them things and it's a give and take. And we get to know when we do that again on the environmental side, We get to look at the forest cover outside with the brush for creating land and what we get to do for replacing forest cover. As Salon, the international standard for make you get forest cover should be 15%. As we stand in Sierra Leone, we have less than 8% forest cover. Where then do we get for increase them? So when you look at them on the environmental side, definitely it is in place. So we got to look at all the things in agricultural production. If not, when the rain come again, if you know be environmentally conscious, it will wash your topsoil, and once you wash your topsoil, for make you replenish and back takes you about 8 to 10 years. So definitely that's true, sir.
I mean, this question here go most likely border back into the middle of the interview in terms of the other aspects of the interview, or almost towards the end. But I have to ask it anyway at this particular point in time, and it's very, very direct, Mr. Daramy, which is from all what you've said, based on which I'm sure you will have seen, this particular government in town now. I'm not putting you in a difficult position, by the way, but based on this particular government in town.